Welcome back. In today's video, we're diving into the drama from the opening day of the Spanish GP at Jerez. From Marc Marquez admitting he can only survive on his home turf to Pecco Bagnaia binning it and destroying his motorcycle in the very first session. Two factory Ducati riders, one circuit, two very different stories. So how did it all unfold? Stick around till the end because there's a cracking question waiting for you at the finish line. Right, so here's the thing. Marc Marquez arrived at Jerez carrying some genuinely good news. His physical condition had improved considerably after nearly a full month on the sidelines. A shoulder injury from Indonesia last year, compounded by a nasty incident at Austin, had forced him into an extended spell away from the sharp end of competition. Naturally, plenty of people were hoping that the moment he returned to Jerez, the reigning world champion would be straight back on it, fighting for the front. As it turned out, though, it wasn't quite that straightforward. In Friday's practice sessions, Marc struggled to match the pace of his own teammates, Alex Marquez and Fabio Di Giannantonio. At one point, he was on the verge of being bumped down to Q1, before salvaging things with a late lap on the soft rear tire to vault himself up to fourth. What makes this story genuinely compelling, though, is Marc's honesty. He didn't dress it up. He said plainly that his position right now sits somewhere around 4th to 6th in terms of both race pace and single-lap speed, and pointed to Saturday qualifying as the real indicator of where he stands heading into the race. But the line that truly stung. Marc said he currently has no potential to attack, only the potential to survive. This is Marc Marquez, mind you, the bloke who usually rides a motorcycle as if he has a personal arrangement with the laws of physics, talking about merely surviving at a circuit where he won the full Grand Prix just 12 months ago. That's a sobering thing to hear. Marc himself acknowledged that the deficit wasn't down to the bike. It was his own struggle, particularly through Sector 4, the final two corners and the left-handers, where his feeling throughout the day was simply off. Physically, he insists he's fine, and his crew are beavering away in the garage trying to iron out the weak points. But there's another layer to it. Marc noted that his difficulties were most pronounced on fresh rubber, a significant disadvantage at a track where qualifying position is absolutely everything. On used tires, the gaps close up somewhat, but whatever time you've surrendered on new rubber, you simply cannot claw it back. The bottom line is that Marc is very much a work in progress. The body is willing, but the feeling and confidence with the motorcycle still need time to return to their very highest level. If Marc's issue was one of performance, Pecco Bagnaia had an entirely different sort of problem on his hands. And frankly, it was rather more bitter. Bagnaia headed into the afternoon session with a new modification fitted to his factory Ducati, the very same upgrade also used by Alex Marquez, who went on to top the timesheets by day's end. On paper, it sounded promising. Ducati apparently had something fresh and potentially significant to trial at Jerez, but barely minutes into the session, disaster struck. Bagnaia crashed out at turn 1, caught out in the braking zone with the Gresini machine just ahead of him. According to Ducati Lenovo team manager David Tardozzi, the most likely explanation was that Bagnaia was caught off guard by Alex Marquez braking earlier than anticipated, forcing Pecco to brake considerably harder and locking the front wheel in the process. The result? The motorcycle carrying that all-important modification was comprehensively destroyed. Bagnaia said afterwards that it was a real shame because he genuinely believed the upgrade could have given them a great deal of help, though he was determined to try it again the following day. So it was back to the garage, change of leathers, and out again on the spare bike in less than ideal circumstances. Despite everything, Bagnaia managed to produce a competitive rhythm on used tires, eventually clocking 6th place with a deficit of around half a second to Alex Marquez. In context, that's actually a fairly respectable salvage job. A spare bike, limited session time remaining, and still progressing directly through to Q2. But the real intrigue lies in what might have been, had that modification been properly tested from the outset. It's worth remembering that Bagnaia arrived at Jerez with enormous motivation. He has 3 consecutive MotoGP victories at this circuit: 2022, 2023, and 2024. Yet 2026 has been the most difficult start to a season he's endured in the sprint era. Aprilia are currently dominant, and Ducati are very much on the chase. Jerez was supposed to be the turning point. Let's zoom out for a moment. Looking at Friday's overall results, the headline story is Ducati's presence at the front. Though not quite from the names everyone expected, Marc Marquez was fastest on the day, with Di Gianantonio from the VR46 squad also looking composed and rapid throughout on a factory-spec machine. Meanwhile, Aprilia, so dominant throughout the early part of the 2026 season, didn't look quite as menacing as usual around Jerez. Marc Marquez was 3/10 clear of the chasing pack, while Marc Marquez ended the day a full half-second adrift of his younger brother. To their credit, championship leader Marco Bezzecchi on the Aprilia still managed to slot himself into the top three, but Jerez is widely regarded as Aprilia's sternest test of the season, a circuit that historically suits the Ducati down to the ground. One name worth keeping a close eye on is Jorge Martin. The Aprilia man chose not to run fresh rubber at the end of the session and wound up 9th. As one of the genuine title contenders, his pace over the rest of the weekend will say a great deal about how this championship is actually shaping up. So there you have it. Day 1 at Jerez served up plenty to chew over. Marc Marquez recovered, but not yet firing on all cylinders. Bagnaia dealt a cruel hand, but digging deep regardless. And Marc Marquez quietly looking the most convincing of the Ducati brigade. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Drop your answer in the comments below. Who do you reckon makes the podium at the Spanish GP? Does Marc Marquez suddenly come alive on race day? Does Bagnaia mount his comeback? Or does Marc Marquez keep the momentum going? Write your prediction down below, and if you nail it after the race, go on. Treat yourself to a proper brew. You'll have earned it. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow MotoGP fans. We'll keep covering every twist and turn right through to race day. See you in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.